So anyway, let's move on to the digital corkboard then. So this is where we throw in just anything else we think is worth you knowing about. It could be new singles, albums from bands we've already covered, new bands, films, or anything else we think is interesting really. So what I'll do, I've spoken for ages about Stag and Dagger, so do you want to say a little bit about Mist and Wing?
Yeah, so Mist and Wing was a band that was recommended to me through our mutual friend Colin. He himself has a band that's worth checking out as well called Hometown Harbours. So I think Mist and Wing are a couple of his pals. They're a Scottish duo. It's a man and a woman. Unfortunately, I don't have their names at my fingertips. I believe one's from up north, kind of like, West Coast kind of way, and the other's from Glasgow. I think they kind of met down in Glasgow, and they play kind of mix of kind of trad Scottish music, kind of trad Scottish indie music with a kind of hint of Americana. And we were recommended their EP called Step Into the Light, which was released just on the 18th of November last year. Took me a wee while to get into, to be honest, but it definitely grew on me, and I think it's definitely worth kind of checking out. Interestingly, at the very end, because I think the last song, which I won't be able to pronounce, so I'm not even going to try, it's a purely instrumental piece, and I remember thinking, like, this is kind of like hyped, quintessential Scot trad music, and I was listening to it on Spotify, and it was immediately followed up by fucking Jimmy Shand. Like, Jimmy Shand's music just came on after, and it was like, yeah, that's pretty good.
Like, it's much more contemporary sounding than Jimmy Shand.
Yeah, Jimmy Shand, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's worthwhile saying as well that I Will Go is probably, I think that's the third, I think it's the second or third track on the album, or the EP. It's a fantastic song. Kind of almost reminiscent of, Wild Mountain Time by the Corries. But again, with a kind of contemporary twist, like you said. But yeah, I absolutely loved that.
Yeah, I think this is it's a pretty good EP. When I first pressed play on like the first track, and the boys' vocals come in straight away, I was sort of cringed a little bit. I was like, oh, I don't know if I like this. And then it kind of just after a while kind of grew on me, and then you get this sort of male and female vocal harmonies that come in, and they're just beautiful. So it's like that initial kind of like, I'm not sure about this. Really kind of, there was like a switch flicked at a certain point where I was like, yeah, I actually really do like this. So yeah, I think Dance Tonight's really good. It's really upbeat and catchy. Country Miles a little bit more country, still pretty good. I Will Go, like you mentioned, good track. It's maybe a bit long at 7 minutes, but it's quite good. And then I think the last one's just sort of, like you say, very traditional sounding instrumental. But I quite enjoyed it as well. So worth a look. So it's Mist and Wing. Their Step Into the Light EP. So something I wanted to mention is the artist Jodie Langford, and Jodie Langford is someone I came across back in the summer of 2021, and she came out with the song I Miss It, which is basically when people still couldn't go to nights out in pubs and clubs and go see live music or anything like that, and that's basically what it's about, missing nights out. And it's spoken word with kind of a pounding electronic club mix in the background, and the lyrics are really well observed. There's lines like, I miss the ear ringing, croaky throat, 6 stains in my new coat, cold chips, colder tits, forgetting what tomorrow is, I miss it. And it's just along that lines, really kind of well observed lyrics with this kind of banging electronic club mix in the background. So that was how I came across Jodie Langford, and when I heard she had a new EP out under the name of Chaos of Time, I just wanted to find somewhere to mention her in the episode. And the EP's similar kind of aesthetic to I Miss It. It's it's spoken word, electronic dance music. You've got elements of electronic dance music like Crystal Castles, Pendulum, Infected Mushroom, Bomb Funk MCs. There's a song Take Your Money on there that particularly stands out to me. It's quite moody, sort of slow build banger, and it's like reminds me a bit of stuff like Dan Lassac versus Scroobius Pip. There's a particular song they did called You Will See Me, which is really dark and sort of a slow burn that just gets more intense as it goes along. So Joe, yeah, if you like the sound of that and you're a fan of Dan Lassac versus Scroobius Pip or The Streets or Jamie T or any of those kind of electronic acts that I mentioned, then definitely check out Jodie Langford.
Sounds quite good.
Yeah. And then last of all, just wanted to mention Ripcord Records, who we've mentioned a few times on the podcast. We were talking about C's Starry just there. I think they released the Anatomy EP on CD, and they also sent us La Bestia de Gévaudan, their Kintsukuroi album, and I think they released that on cassette tape. So a couple of really good albums that we covered that they've sent us. I think maybe on the same episode, not sure, but I mentioned one of their charity compilations that they did. It was called Refuge, and it was a two-parter with loads of kind of like post-rock, math rock, post-metal, black metal, sludge, all that kind of stuff. And it was in aid of the charity, the domestic abuse charity Refuge. So they've got another compilation out. This is called You Matter Part 2. I obviously missed out on the Part 1 when that came out, but Part 2 is in aid of the suicide prevention charity Papyrus, and it's absolutely massive. There's 101 bands, it's 11 hours of music, and it's from 22 different countries and across 4 different continents. And it's again, it's all like post-rock, post-metal, black metal, sludge, screamo, just heavy music. So if that sounds like it's up your street, you can go over to Bandcamp and pick up You Matter Part 2. It's a name your price album as well, so if you don't have much money, you can still buy it, but it is for charity, so for that mental health charity Papyrus. So definitely worth checking out, and I think Ripcord Records are a really cool label and do a lot of cool stuff like this, so they're definitely worth following what they're up to next.
It's not finished. It's finished.